Chapter 47. Again, a girl's scream was cut short. Feeling terrified for Ashley, Jeff began sprinting down the hall in the direction he guessed the scream had originated. But then he stopped at the first intersection and turned to Tina, realizing he wouldn't be able to investigate any further. "Do you remember the way?" She nodded as she passed him and kept running down the hall. They headed right at the next intersection, passing several doors, then made a left, went 20 yards, and took a right down another corridor. Tina stopped beside a closed door. She pointed. "Here." Jeff hoped Ashley had made it out. He hoped Laura had done the necessary gruesome task of killing the girl. That woman was really strong. To cold-bloodedly murder two innocent girls, even knowing it was just a dream, must be a difficult task for a good person. Wouldn't there always be a little doubt in one's mind? He wasn't sure he could do it. He wanted to thank Laura, hug her, hold her, comfort her for once, rather than her taking on so much responsibility for all their sake. Who was looking out for Laura? Perhaps she needed his help at this very moment. "Are you going to open it?" "Yes," but he hesitated. He glanced at his watch. 1:30 a.m. If Ashley was still asleep, then Laura would have failed. Already an hour had passed since he awoke. That was plenty of time to kill the girl. What would happen to them if Laura failed? How would he lead the rest of them out? He didn't want to leave Ashley and Laura behind. He couldn't abandon them. They were exceptional people who he had grown to value. He prayed to God for the first time since his daughter died, really trying to believe in a supreme being. He begged God to please allow him to find Ashley safe in her bed, merely frightened from waking up in this hospital alone. Grabbing the cold doorknob, he pulled too hard, too soon, and noisily rattled the door in its frame. He took a deep breath and opened it with more care. The room was dark. They both entered, and he closed the door. Tina flicked on the lights. There were two empty beds, IVs and computers beside each. The far bed by the window had sheets and blanket rumpled up. The one closest to the door was neatly made. A nightstand was positioned between them, with a black Bible on a white towel. There was no other furniture in the room. "She was here before, in that bed." Tina pointed to a neatly made bed. Jeff hadn't expected this. He stumbled on something on the floor. It was a black book. Goddamn Bibles. They're like cockroaches everywhere. He kicked it across the room, pages noisily flapping about. "Where is she?" Tina's voice was barely a whisper. He took a few deep breaths to calm himself. His anger wasn't helping anyone, including the wonderful girl to his right who depended on him. Yeah, good question." He flexed his arm muscles to expend the aggressive energy simmering inside him. "These bastards. Sorry, I mean the staff." "It's okay, Jeff. I'm upset too." "They must have moved her. It doesn't look like anyone's been in Ashley's bed for a while." "And Donald was in the other bed." "No one made his bed. Maybe he just woke up." They really needed the big man. Where had he gone? Was he searching for them right now? Jeff went to the window to observe more of the hospital grounds. This side of the building didn't face a parking lot, but just a little alley with the same barbed wire fence border, which probably encircled the entire complex. Further out was dark wilderness, or somewhere in the mountains. Scratching noise came from the door. "What's that?" Tina whispered, trembling. It stopped, then began again, faster, louder, now accompanied with strange low keening. He wasn't ready for monsters here. Back in the other world, he had a hard enough time believing in them. But this was reality. Monsters couldn't exist. This hospital was a research facility, though. Just what kind of research did they conduct? Were genetic manipulations also part of their experiments? Perhaps blending the DNA of lions, humans, wolves, and alligators, they made a completely new species to terrorize humanity. Real monsters. Where had muscular, powerful Donald gone to? Jeff needed that man. He was barely becoming stable on his legs again. He wouldn't be able to protect Tina from mutants by himself. He backed against the window, heart racing, throat dry. "Is there another way out?"